and that time was like calmed down, but we still had snipers on the roof of buildings that we would play. We had we got called in a bomb threat to one of our shows. We still played. We had someone come to the hotel to arrest us after the show. Yeah. So the person on the hotel person's like, okay, just stay in your room. I have no obligation to tell them anything.
Here it is, the Baco Tunes podcast with Matt Munoz. Audio brought to you by Chain Cone Clark.
I am joined in studio by a singer, songwriter. You know what? I don't want to mess up the description. I'm just going to introduce him. I have Bakersfield singer-songwriter Nate Parrish in the house. How you doing, Nate?
Hey, what is up? Gotta keep going, man.
I know. I was like, how do I do this intro? Do I do him real long? But you know what? I got to get to know him.
Yeah.
I got to get to know him. I know some things, and I don't want to, classify him the wrong way. So we're going to start from, a clean slate, but I do know he's a Bakersfield singer-songwriter. We're going to talk a little bit about music. We're going to talk about things that he's involved in. But one of the main things is he has a big show on May 28th with Brian Head Welch. Does he still go by Head? Or is he just Brian Welch now?
I'm pretty sure. We actually asked him that because I'm like, do you want me to call you that? And he's whatever. Doug's like, why did we call you that again? He's like, have you seen my head? So I just stick with Brian Head Welch because.
Yeah. Well, you got a big show on May 28th with Brian Head Welch of Korn. I could say that again because he's been back in Korn for a while.
Yep.
And, that's a whole other story. They're going to be celebrating 15 years of Magdalene Hope. It's a local nonprofit that helps those escaping human trafficking, which, as we all know, if you follow the news, I mean, it's something that's always been around. But, now, I mean, we're reaching that point where, all right, everybody, you guys got to stop ignoring this. This is like a real thing. We've had everything from movies. You see the popularity of the movies that kind of talk about human trafficking, but you never think about it happening next door to your home. It's right in your community. So part of this concert, which we're going to be getting to, it's called An Evening in Rock and Conversation, featuring Brian Head Welch of Korn. You got Spoken. There's another band called Spoken, and of course Nate Parrish. So let's get back to Nate Parrish. Let's start this. So Nate, if you we spoke off air. Now I thought you were from Bakersfield. Let's start a little bit about your history. Where are you from?
I am from Stockton, the 209. Once voted, I think, the most deadliest city a few years ago. So
yeah.
I have that trophy on my shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Born and raised in Stockton. I lived in Modesto for 5 or 6 years. That's where I first started doing a real band, I guess you could say, touring.
Yeah.
Lived in Napa for a couple years.
Ooh,
lived in
all right.
Sacramento for a couple years. I've been here for about 7.
So you're 100% Central Valley guy.
Yeah.
Man.
My goal is just to live in every single part of the Central Valley.
Yeah.
So far, I'm loving Bakersfield.
Yeah. Like we said, we talked off air, and he goes, Bakersfield and Stockton, there's a lot of similarities. Yeah. I mean, it's those blue collar working class places. They have their ups and downs, but you can drive, you can park. Yeah. There's a lot of pluses. I would say my wife and I were talking about that. When you want to go to a show. I mean, you and I were musicians. Mm-hmm. We obviously like to go to concerts. You go to a concert in LA, it's not just like buying a ticket. No, there's an entire thing you got to go through.
No, you got to search out where you're going to park and then how long it's going to take you to walk or run, depending on what time of night it is, to the show so you can get there on time. The last concert I went to in LA was Hot Water Music, and
it's stages before you actually get to enjoy the concert.
Well, we were stopped at, it wasn't even a red light, there was just traffic, and a guy just runs across the street right up to our window and knocks on the window, and my buddy Jason, who plays in my band, hey, what's up? And he just specifically asked for a burrito. Do you have a burrito? Can I have a burrito? And Jason's like, I don't have any burritos. I'm like, dude, do you have burritos in this car and you didn't tell me? But yeah, it was.
Were you digging around for some leftover Taco Bell packets? No, I got this, but if you've come a burrito,
we had not. But I kind of respect it though, because it's not like, hey, money, or it's like I want a burrito.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey, if I had one, I would give it to you because I
Well,
respect
LA has some of the best burritos.
Yeah.
He's all, hey man, like somebody's got to have a burrito.
But we had to park like 5 or 6 blocks away, and
and then hope that your car didn't get towed because of the signs.
Yeah.
There's always going to be one little detail on there that
Yep.
you skipped.
Yes.
So you have to do the math. Okay, no parking between this. Let me check
every
the date.
third Thursday, in opposite, like in opposite years. So
Yes.
you'd have to know what year it is. It's just like a whole
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't even bother.
All right, so now so Stockton, Central Valley guy. What brought you to Bakersfield?
So, me and my wife, we do music and ministry together. We have for a long time. She taught at a Christian school, and she taught choir and band and all that stuff. And I've been a musician for forever. And somehow the conversation came up where we really wanted to do that job together.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, well, let's just make a resume and see what happens. Like, what's it gonna hurt?
Yeah.
You know? And we sent it out. We had some people respond, and the Bakersfield one came through. She's like, Nate, we got an email from a church in Bakersfield. And I was like, next. I didn't even bother. I was like, no.
Oh!
Just because,
Yeah, okay.
People, if they don't live in Bakersfield, they think, oh, Bakersfield, it's hot, dusty, cows, whatever they think.
Uh-huh.
And that's, kind of true. But, I was like, let's just, I'm not going to be a jerk about it. So we did the interview, and I really, really liked all the people, and ended up moving here. And I've lived in a lot, like we talked about, lived in a lot of places.
Yeah.
People in Bakersfield are really cool.
Yeah. Well,
really nice.
How do you get? Because I want to talk about your upbringing and that, and growing up in Stockton. But we'll get to that. But how do you get? You're doing ministry. Is that how you met? Doing the ministry together, you and your wife?
Yeah. I was in like a touring Christian band at the time, and she was doing music as well, pursuing it. And so we had a venue at our church that my roommate used to run and book at bands and stuff like that. And he'd always tell me, dude, you got to see this girl Rachel, like you would really like her. And I was like, no, thank you. I'm the musician. I don't need another. Can't be two egos here. So I refused. And my roommates listened to her music all the time. And so she finally came. She came and did a concert, and I saw her and was like, yeah, maybe I'll go say hi.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Struck.
That was it.
Love
man.
struck.
Yeah.
Boom.
For sure.
Excellent. Okay. So you guys are meeting church. A little bit of this. You guys got your music thing going on. When you decide to pursue, to get into the ministry, like who led that? Was it you or was it her? And were you guys married already at the time?
Yeah. We were married. We had actually put out a EP of songs together in 2015. And we really liked doing that. She was teaching, and we were both doing stuff at our church, volunteering and whatever. But we were just talking. I was like, she's a great vocalist, musician, all that stuff.
What's her? So if you're rock, like what is her thing?
Oh, dude, she gets compared to the Cranberries a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, she's got that.
Dolores Riordan.
Dolores, yeah.
Yeah.
She's got that kind of vibe, but she leads from piano.
Mm-hmm.
So I just was like, you're so gifted at this. Do you want to just do this? And she's like, I really do. I was like, well, let's just do it then. Because I do graphic design. I do music too, but I also do graphic design and video editing and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, we could go to a church that could hire both of us. I could just do it part-time or whatever. Mostly like, it's kind of like you're hiring Rachel and then you just get like a bonus Nate. Like she's the big ticket, So that's just, I was really wanting her to be fulfilled in that. So I was like, we'll do it.
Teamwork.
That's what you want to do, yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
All right, so you get into, so when you want to get, because you have to take me into this world, so you decide, well, we're going to do ministry. How do you find a gig like that? How do you find a gig like that? Like, I want to go preach. I mean, like, do you, like, my people say, hey, you're just going to show up, lease a building and say, hey, this is going to be our church? Like, how does that happen? And how did you guys get into it?
I don't even know how all that stuff happens. But for us, we had always just volunteered and been a part of church. We attend church, and we always wanted to be involved and use our gifts. And it, sometimes it gets weird when you mix your religion and your paycheck. That always kind of gets hairy. But for us, it was really just about let's just see what happens. I didn't know if anyone was interested in hiring us to do this, you know, and but with our combined experience, you know, she literally taught. She has a degree. She's a vocal major. So she has a degree in that. She's taught choir. She's taught drama. She's taught youth band. She's
so where did she attend school at?
William Jessup. It's up in Rockland. And so all that kind of experience, and she's just a wonderful person. And, you know, and then I have musical experience, and I could do the graphic design. They kind of go together, you know?
Yeah.
So it just clicked, and we put it out there. And the church that hired us was a church plant, and they basically, we did some interviews with them, and they're like, well, we don't know if this is a really good idea or a really bad idea. Because if you hire 2 people that are married, what if you want to fire one?
Oh.
Right? You lose both, or, you know. So, but it's been great, and we love it. We love it.
You guys are doing good so far.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah. Wow, interesting. Okay, so we'll get back to that when you landed into Bakersfield, but let me go back to a little bit of your early history, like, and we'll focus on the music. But let's talk about your family. Like, what did your parents do?
So my dad was in construction. So we talked about there was a family business that started in 1947, Parrish and Sons, and they did construction and septic tank stuff, all that kind of stuff. So he did that for a while, and then he went out on his own because he, you know, as most people would probably not want to work for their dad. You know, they didn't get along. So he worked for another company. He became just a really great estimator for construction. And so he loved drawing up plans and doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but he was great at it. And then my mom, she used to clean houses for people, to basically do whatever she could to put us through school. So they both worked.
How many siblings you got?
One. I got one older sister, and they just worked really hard. My sister went to private school or public school. She's a little older than me. She just got, beat up, like all that kind of stuff. And so my mom's like, I'm going to just work my butt off so these kids can go to a safer school. And so that's what she did. So they both worked their whole time I was in high school.
Good, hardworking parents. Keep loving the house and do it for the kids. Yep. So what were you guys listening to? Where does the music come in?
Oh, man. So I have to rely on my parents because I was too young, but they said my first love was the Talking Heads when I was a baby, essentially a toddler. MTV was new. And they said, whenever Burning Down the House would come on, you would just lose it. And so I would do the moves, you know? And so Talking Heads. So then I remember getting a cassette tape when I was a little older for Christmas. I didn't know what it was. I opened it up, I'm like, this is not a toy. What is this? And that's that song that you like. Oh, cool. So then from there it was, my sister's name is Rhiannon. So obviously Fleetwood Mac was part of it. The Cars. My dad loved the Cars. Yeah. And then there was Bob Dylan. I didn't like Bob Dylan. That harmonica used to drive me nuts. But now I do. Yeah. I could tweak the audio.
So were you, were your parents listening because I want to make sure that I distinguish this right, and I could have it wrong. But like I said, when we were talking off air, when you talk about there's secular music, and then there's a spiritual music, and we're gonna talk about all these things. But was it primarily secular music played in the household? Yeah,
there was no distinction. I still I believe that to this day. People ask me all the time, so you're like a Christian punk band? Like, no, Nate follows Christ, but music doesn't do anything. You make the music, right? Music has no right, left, religious, anything. It's music. It's an expression. So I don't believe in the whole Christian music thing. I just think that there's people that make music. So there was no distinction. We just listened to music that we liked. It just happened to be
you grew up so your parents were like, we're gonna listen to cool music in this house, and you guys are absorbing it.
Yeah, well, my mom would listen to Christian radio, and I just didn't like that because it just didn't rock.
Yeah,
at the time, she was listening to it, I was like, this is terrible.
There's lots of Sandy Patty and stuff like that.
100%.
Amy Grant. Okay, Carmen. Or was that later?
No, I have Carmen. I have a good story about Carmen, but no, that stuff. It took me later in life to appreciate it, because at the time you're just a snot-nosed punk kid that wants to listen to whatever's different,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So, but I luckily grew up around all that AC/DC. My dad was into like all that rock stuff, and yeah, so I had a good mix from both sides. Tracy Chapman was one of my mom's favorites, so I remember listening to Tracy Chapman and then listening to AC/DC, so I had a good balance.
Well, if you like Dylan, so you like a lot of that folk stuff and everything like that. All right, so let's talk about your musical education and how the instruments. So what was the first instrument you picked up?
I got a guitar on my 18th birthday. So most people start earlier.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Really? 18, huh?
Well, I was really into basketball. I played sports.
And you're a tall dude.
Sports, yeah. So, like, I loved music. And I always, in my mind, imagined myself playing music. But I think I was so scared to be bad at it. So I didn't want to try. And then finally, I was like, you know what? Screw it. I think I could do this. So I woke up on my 18th birthday. My dad had bought me a Fender Squier. And a little practice amp. I was in the living room when I woke up.
Oh,
and
nice.
So I no joke, I would wake up early, probably like 6. I'd play until my mom is screaming at me to get into the car to go to school. And then as soon as I got home, do my chores as fast as possible, and then I played until they told me to shut up. And I did that for 6 months straight.
Wow.
I didn't know what chords were called. I didn't know anything. I had one friend. I said, hey, he was really good at guitar. I'm like, you got to show me how to play this Green Day song. And when I come around, and he's like, I'm not teaching you that crap. And because he was really into Led Zeppelin and blues and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, please. He's like, fine. So he showed me how to do a bar chord. And he's like, essentially, just use those finger formations and you could play whatever song.
Yeah, because there's a set of chords that are going to be, and I'm not a guitar player, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. All right, so if the foundation for all the pop punk stuff. So yeah, I could see like your age when you finally as a teen. So like you're at the height of pop punk.
Oh, dude,
like everything was going on.
Yeah,
Green Day, Offspring.
Enema of the State came out in '99.
Oh yeah, Blink-182.
And although that wasn't my favorite, because by that time I had matured in my punk. Because I started, luckily, I started with Social D as like my first real punk band. I had a friend who bought White Light, White Heat, White Trash. And he's like, dude, do you want this CD? These guys are trying to rip off Green Day. That's what he said, dude. I was like, oh, lame. Yeah, sure. And I liked it, and then my other friend gave me Night at the Roxy.
Yeah.
Live at the Roxy. And I was like, oh, dude. Because I'm like, I think this is punk. I think it's punk. I mean, he's got a spiderweb tattoo on his elbow, so I think he's punk. But it sounds like the stuff that my dad liked. It's like, Johnny Cash and Bob Dylan put together, and so I instantly fell in love with it.
Yeah, that's a great album.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Great album. Like, if it's your introduction to Social Distortion, I mean, if you followed them all these years, you already know what the next album is going to sound like if they got to a certain point after Mommy's a Little Monster, and you get to is it Prison Bound, and like it just kind of goes from there. But the Live at the Roxy, you got Chuck Biscuits on the drums.
Biscuits.
Sound, I mean,
it was such a good, because they play the songs from all their eras at the same time, so it had the same guitar tones and everything. Because like the self-titled had a little bit softer guitar tones. It was a little more radio friendly, I guess you could say, for back then. But the early stuff is like raw punk.
Yeah,
Mommy's Little Monster. So it's cool to hear all those together, and with Chuck on drums was fantastic.
But like Mike Ness was in such bad shape at that time.
Yeah,
like that's when he was like probably at his unhealthiest. But yeah, great stuff. Okay, so all right, so you've had a nice little education. You're kind of getting a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Now, I want to talk about like. So where does Christian music come into the whole thing? Because you got your secular stuff, and like you said, I don't listen to music as I'm only going to listen to Christian music, secular music. It's a little bit of everything in the crossover. So how does that happen?
Yeah, I just like gravitate towards music that feels honest and real, And my first exposure to even knowing that there was a such thing as Christian, like music for me. I guess.
But also like subgenres within. You just say Christian music, you're automatically going to think, oh, it's church. No.
Especially not at that time. Like, when I got Life in General from MXPX. Actually, no, Slowly Going the Way of the Buffalo was my first CD. Actually,
MXPX.
98, yeah. I love that album.
Mm-hmm.
I still, to this day, I think that's their best album. The drum tones are fantastic on that. And, man, I wore that thing out. It felt like Social D a little bit, but just faster and a little more, I'm going to say happier, just more youthful. I mean, obviously, they were, like, still kids.
Yeah. Well, were you already, I mean, did you get saved? And at a certain point, you get saved, and then you, like, I'm going to be attending like these particular youth groups, because I think maybe the dynamic of your life might change, right?
It didn't for
Social
me.
circles, etc. No,
it wasn't like that for me. Saved early on, like before high school.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a credit to my parents is that they were just so, religion wasn't forced on me at all. It was there because that's what my mom believed, and so she taught me. But it wasn't like, you're going to do this, or you can't listen to that because it doesn't sound like this. They were fully, and my dad was like, hey, if you're going to get a tattoo, wait till after you graduate. If you're going to start dyeing your hair and doing a mohawk, like, just make sure you get a job first. They were very practical. And so that didn't really register. I just liked it because it sounded good. And then, read the lyrics like, hey, that's kind of like, they're kind of talking about stuff that I believe too, which is cool. And so there wasn't that. And I didn't really even go to youth group. My mom tried to get me to go a couple times, and I just didn't click. So, yeah, I didn't. It's kind of a backwards way of doing it.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I was in high school, which they still do, they have Youth for Christ, which is campus life. Did they have that over there at your school? Was that no?
Not my school. No.
Huh. Interesting.
No.
Like, I always thought it was kind of like a nationwide thing.
I definitely heard of it, and there's rallies and stuff. We'd have sometimes like the. You ever heard the power team? You know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, the power team.
Oh,
would
totally.
Come, the
I
power
totally
team would
remember
come
that.
in and they would break a bunch of stuff and.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was like during the American Gladiators.
Yeah, matching. They wear like matching tracksuits and junk.
Yeah, they were.
I was like, what?
Yeah, it would be like a pipe.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It would like.
Be like, this block of ice is your sins. Ha! And they'd break it. And for me, I was like, oh, dude, come on. But.
The power team.
They had mullets and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because there would be like I would say there was a Christian version of everything that was popular at the time, because, it's like the kids wanted to be able to do that, but, I don't know if mom and dad are going to let me, but hey, we have this.
Yeah.
And like with Christian punk, and there was Christian metal. I mean, there was even Christian thrash.
Yeah.
And then the hip hop started. I think hip hop was one of the last ones, the subgenres, to be accepted, and you started to be able to see it, like gospel gangsters and stuff like. Do you remember that name? I mean,
I do.
I could go way back with a lot of this stuff.
I do now, but at the time it wasn't on my radar. But man, Christian rap I feel, might be the strongest of all the genres. Like, they can hang.
Yeah,
those dudes can hang.
Yeah, but a lot of the bands.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about Petra, which is kind of one of the most famous. In fact, I was listening to Questlove from The Roots. You know, he has his podcast, and he was talking about, like, his family was so strict, church family, that he was only allowed Christian music. And he goes, and he started naming Petra, Resurrection Band. And I was like, wow, like, that was all the way in Philly? Like, he knew about Petra in Philly? I mean, these bands are huge. These are the big bands. And so, like, if you were a Christian during the 80s and you wanted to listen to rock, what's like, well, we have a rock version that's not Ozzy, because it was like, there was a lot of that, of course you didn't want to say AC/DC, Kiss, of course not Slayer, anything like that. But there was, in between all those, there was bands that were music-wise were comparable. Yeah. Like, you could say, I can't listen to Slayer, but there is a thrash band that if you weren't listening to the lyrics, and they were just like, I mean, you would think it was just a secular band. Well,
when you go into, so when I got into MXPX, so you know this.
Oh yeah.
When you buy a CD, I don't know if you guys out there know what a CD is. It's a little round thing that plays music, but you read the liner notes because you want to see what bands they like, right? So then I looked, what bands did they thank and tour with? And then most of them were Christian bands like Goaty Hook and Plank Eye and whatever, and Social D was on there too. But then I was like, Mom, I want to go to the Bible bookstore. And she's like, oh, hallelujah,
Yeah.
My son wants to go to the Bible bookstore. And I would go to the music section, and they would do this thing where they're like, if you love Blink-182, you'll love this version.
Of course.
And I'm like, you don't have to stop. You don't have to do that. These bands are legit. MXPX is good.
Oh, yeah.
Any of those bands.
I didn't even know that MXPX was classified as a
They were. Yeah,
Christian
they were.
band. I didn't
time.
know that. I didn't know. And I saw them here. They played at the Gate, which is it was like a non-denominational church that. What is the name of he was the pastor there. He was a really nice guy because my band played there. Everybody played.
Yeah,
This is about around the time of Jerry's. Jerry's was too dirty, but you could play at the Gate.
Yeah.
And the parents were allowed to go there. There was no alcohol allowed
Yeah.
on the grounds, even out in the parking lot. Like, no, if you're going to come over here, you got to respect what we're doing here.
Yeah.
But at least the kids were safe.
I
And
like
that's
that.
kind of at the main thing.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
It was
Yeah.
totally cool. But yeah, they played there. It was MXPX, and it was actually Unwritten Law played together on that. And it was in a little tiny place because it was a gym.
Yeah.
But then they would also have service there, too. And so, like, all the kids that were, there was kind of the punk rock outsider kids. I don't even know why the Gate went away or whatever happened to it. But, I mean, that was a whole other scene. But, like, we were talking about bands. So you had your main bands that were from the 80s. You had Petra, Res Band, Undercover. And then later on you had DC Talk, which got really big, Jars of Clay, and then Switchfoot, and these are all bands that crossed over.
Yeah.
However, when you talk about in the 80s, there was bands that were that were also okay with, like, the Christian kids were able to listen to a particular set of bands because maybe somebody had said, this band's okay.
Right.
If you listen to the lyrics in the 80s, like band like U2.
Oh, yeah.
So U2 was allowed.
Yeah.
Simple Minds was allowed.
Yeah.
And there was some other bands. And maybe if they used like some sort of a religious...
There's like a tone.
Yeah, like a tone to it. Like a lot of those early U2 albums, especially when you get to Unforgettable Fire, then it was just like, we'll see what they mean. I was like, okay, maybe.
Well, spiritual lyrics. I think, like, I'm a dad now, so, I totally understand why parents would be like, I don't want you to listen to that band. Because, dude, like, some of the stuff is just, it's rough, man. You read the lyrics, you're like, man, do I really want that going in my kid's head? And I totally get it, but
even when you were growing up, and we're talking about the 90s, is when you
90s,
really started. I mean, the stuff that was coming out, I don't necessarily know that a lot of even the pop punk stuff was that.
No,
it
wasn't. Like, even
it wasn't that explicit.
No,
I mean,
no.
You had the Blink-182 stuff, and then you had like
Dookie.
Like, what does Longview mean? You know, those type of things. But you had to really dig.
Well, also Billy Joe sings with like a British accent. You can't really understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
So like parents are impervious to. They don't. It doesn't. Yeah. They're like, oh, he sounds nice. Is he from England?
Mm-hmm.
So they don't know. But like Blink-182, I liked them, but I didn't really. I don't like the goofiness.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I was just like, I think because it was Social D. I was like, I felt like Social D or like Face to Face was like, they're probably one of my all-time favorite bands. Trevor, it seems like he's singing about something, like for real, not just like this girl broke up with me, like, existential crisis. Like he's a thinking man's punk rocker.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that stuff.
Yeah.
I just always gravitated towards that melodic, more, I don't want to use the word serious, but you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The tone was different. So I liked Blink-182. Cool, you guys are doing a video, running around naked, whatever. But I really liked like Face to Face, Social D, stuff that was like more life stuff.
Yeah.
And that was just my thing.
No, that's really cool. Thank you so much for allowing me to ask you all these questions about, because I'm still like, I feel like when I was growing up, and a lot of the Christian punk stuff and the Christian rock and everything was like really big, and so like friends were allowed to listen to this, and boom, 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 and what we were allowed to, of course, because I was like around that time there was a big satanic panic thing that was happening, and so everybody was really, I mean, there was a lot of misinformation that was going on. It was like, this means this means that, and boom, 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 and you're starting to freak out.
Like
and everybody
the AC/DC thing?
Like, Kiss, Rush.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all that. And,
Rush is hilarious. Have you ever listened to Rush?
Yeah.
I'm salesman. You think that guy's like, I'm Satan. Come on, guys.
It was like reading Lord of the Rings, and then they just it all made sense later, but it was an interesting time. Okay, so you're kind of getting all this musical education influences. Now you're growing up. You got your guitar. Yeah. Now you start a band, and then how soon, when you start playing in bands, does Kutless happen, and then you start touring?
So got the guitar, worked my butt off for 6 months, joined a band. My first show ever was opening up for the Huntingtons, which at the time, Huntingtons was like one of my favorite bands. They were a Tooth and Nail. They were like the Ramones, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and every song was just.
And Tooth and Nail was one of the most well-known, hippest Christian labels.
Yeah. They
how would you describe Tooth
and Nail? They never officially called themselves a Christian label. I think they just, the bands and stuff that they signed, they kind of came from that world. You know, the MXPX, Supertones. Well, Supertones, yeah. Huntingtons, you know, they all had that kind of in common. So you kind of knew when that Tooth and Nail kind of flyer came to your house, and all the new bands, you're like, these are all going to be great. They just had that reputation. Yeah. So for me to open for them was like, I can't believe it. So I started writing songs, and I wasn't we had a vocalist, and so I would say, here's what I think you should say in the song, or how the melody would go. I don't even know what the chords are called. I'm just doing it and showing them. And they're like, wow, that's really cool. And I'm like, how do you do those chords where it's like, ring, 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 and they're like, oh, octave chords? I'm like, yes. You know how Face to Face does octave chords? Yeah. Do that. I would tell the other guitar player, do that on this part, you know? And so that's when I figured, I was like, I think I got a knack for like songwriting and like arrangement stuff. And so I started doing, we played one show, and then my stupid singer went to college, boo. So we broke up. And then I was like, screw it, I'm going to do it by myself. So I just started doing acoustic shows, like playing some of those songs acoustic, covering some Social D stuff. Yeah. And then I was briefly in the Psychobilly band. So you got your Tiger Army shirt
Nice,
on.
Yeah.
I was a vocalist
really?
for a Psychobilly band, yeah.
Out of Stockton.
Yeah, we're called the Deadites after Evil Dead.
Could I look them up? And no?
No, there was a band, if someone knows this, find me and message me. I'll be amazed. But there's a band called Cremasters of Disaster. Is my buddy's band, and it was like their side project. So, anyways,
the Deadites side project.
The Deadites was yeah. So funny. I still remember one of the songs. It was cringe, but years later, I go to do a music internship at a church in Modesto, and they have this really big youth group. And this is the time where like hardcore is becoming mainstream. So people are listening to like I don't know, like Terror, Throwdown. Like you're starting to hear more of that kind of post-hardcore.
Yeah.
And all these kids came to the youth group because in Modesto, like, you know, what you're talking about, what do? You go to shows. Yeah. You know, you flat iron your hair and wear a hoodie all day, even when it's 100 degrees. So all those kids were in our youth group. And so I'm like, we got to, let's just do music that they identify with. Because, you know, like we talked about, when I'm growing up, I didn't really, it's really hard to find music that you felt like spoke to you, you know, especially in the church world. Yeah. Because you think like you said, Christian music, you think of, not like, you know, screams and breakdowns. Yeah. So like we should write music that conveys this truthful message in their language, you know. So that's what we did. We started writing like kind of quote unquote heavy worship stuff that we play on Wednesday nights, and they loved it. We would, during our church service, there'd be a pit.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I would jump off. I fell off a speaker one time onto someone. I had blood on my guitar. Yeah, it was sick. And I was like the screamer. So I'd write some of the songs and I'd scream. Well, this Christian record label wanted to sign us. They came out and they signed us. They kind of wanted to polish us up a little bit. You know, they dumbed down some of the screaming. This is like a typical record label thing to do. Yeah. But it was cool. We ended up touring for a couple years, put out 2 albums. And
so what was the circuit like for the band? Like were you doing venues? Were you doing festivals?
Festivals, churches.
And were the festivals secular festivals, or were they because by this point there are big Christian music festivals that will have everybody.
Oh, it's huge ones. Yeah. They were mostly Christian, if not all. I was sort of like the black sheep of the band, because I had come from the punk rock world. Yeah. Everyone else they were all, you know, the 2 of them were brother and sister. They all went to church together, so I was kind of coming in, and I'll be like, yeah, we got to try to go do this. And like, I don't think we'll fit in. Yeah, let's just do it. And so, but we ended up doing like primarily Christian things, which is, it was fun. I don't care. I'm playing music. And through that, we ended up getting on our first bus tour. Really big tours, like 8 bands. It was, let's see if you remember some of these. 1,000 Foot Crutch.
Yes.
Pillar.
Maybe.
So Kutless was on that. Yep. Run Kid Run, which is a Tooth and Nail pop punk band. And then Fireflight was another kind of rock band. I don't know. They were great. We toured with them. And then I remember with Kutless, they were like the headliner. And I didn't know their music at all. But their guitar player was wearing a Between the Buried and Me shirt at one of the Devos, devotional. He was teaching. And I was wearing a Between the Buried and Me shirt. And I looked at him like, you don't like that band. So I went out and I said, I was like, you know, the typical name 5 songs.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I love this band. And so we connected, and I was like, this guy's way more metal than I thought. Favorite bands, the Deftones, you know, all that stuff. So we connected. Fast forward, 7 years later, he literally calls. He doesn't ever call me. It's just like a text. He called me. This is weird. And all he said was like, hey, man, do you want to play guitar in Kutless? I just said, yep.
Yeah.
That was it. And I didn't even know if I could pull it off. We did a Zoom call, and he's like, hey, learn these 20 songs, and your first show's in like a month.
That's crazy. No, well, what were you doing at the time back home?
I was doing music with my wife, and I was working at a online.
How long had you guys been married? Because this is going to change with. I mean, if you're going to go on tour, you're going to be gone. So there's got to be like, hey, what's happening here?
When we first got married, I toured a bit, so kind of used to it. But then I didn't for a while. So we had been married for 6 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the first year I spent touring a lot.
You both knew what you were getting into.
Yeah. Yeah. And she had toured herself, so she kind of knew.
Nice.
But I just said yes.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, dude, if a door opens, I'm going to walk through it. And if I can't pull it off, at least I tried. So, yeah, my first show was with Toby Mac, and it was like 6,000 people. And the funny thing is, I didn't know I was playing lead guitar. I just assumed I was coming on as rhythm because I'm not the main. I'm not one of the original band members.
Yeah.
And so we do the thing, and he's like, all right, play the whatever. And I play the rhythm. He's like, oh, do you know the lead part? I'm like, I think it goes like this. And he's like, wait, you know you're playing lead, right? It's like, oh, of course I do. Can I call you right back in like a week? So that was like the.
So you just like in the lab, like, leave me alone. I have to learn to just like sleeping with this music.
Yeah. Because I'm learning. I mean, at that level, you know, we run tracks, we do all the things. Everything is like, it's like 15 songs set or more, but everything is, it's mapped out. You're not just going up there and jamming. Like there's intros, there's interludes. It's just a lot of stuff. So you got to really know everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Be aware. So I had to learn all the parts first, and then comes the stage presence part of it, you know.
What was the Kutless hit? What's the signature tune?
I think I don't know if the biggest one is What Faith Can Do. I think it was in like The Biggest Loser or something.
I've seen dreams that move the mountains, hope that doesn't ever end, even when the sky is falling. I've seen
Strong Tower was another one. A lot of the softer ones, which I like the harder stuff. So it's funny because we have we have like worship albums that are still, you know, rock, but then we have like heavy stuff. Like the last couple of songs that came out were in like drop G, you know. So we would go to play a show, and you get a lot of people that they only hear what they hear on the radio. Oh, I love this band. They play that Faith song. And then we get up there, and the first thing we do is like, and I'm like hair twirling, you know, doing the splits, and they're like, oh my God, what did I walk into? So people would leave sometimes, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
But I was like, that's probably a good choice. But so we had a broad mix, which was really great for my just like my skill set as a guitar player, because you went from everything from like really soft, you know, clean tones to, you know, drop C, chugging, and all those kind of things. So,
what are some of the things that stand out from that? Because are you still technically in Kutless?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're still. When was the last time you guys played?
About a year ago.
Really? Okay, so is this kind of just like everybody's kind of doing their own thing? You guys will regroup. You guys all keep in touch, and
James sends me memes multiple times a day.
So where are they based out of?
They're originally from Oregon, Portland. One still lives there. One lives in Idaho. 2 live in Minnesota.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All over
So
the place.
it's obviously something that's worth keeping together because you guys are so distant. But now you can do everything via Zoom, you know, and send demos around easy.
Essentially, they're like, here's the new song, here's your parts. Yeah, and you learn it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow. What are some of the things that stand out from your time with them so far? Gigs and people you guys have worked with or collabs?
Well, I was telling you about we did Germany, a rock festival in Germany a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And we played after Petra. So Petra's playing.
Yeah.
And even not growing up with that band, I understood the gravity of...
What is it? Was it a Christian music fest in Germany?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand, like, their place in rock history,
Mm-hmm.
Christian rock history specifically. So it's kind of crazy watching them from backstage because they're opening for us. This is backwards, you know. And then we did shortly after I joined the band, we did a 2-month tour in mostly Ukraine. So this is 2016. Yeah.
Wow.
So we spent 2 months in Europe. I think about half of that or more was in Ukraine specifically. So we did this thing where it was like a fundraising thing that from an organization, and it was all free concerts, and it was all public, everything. So we weren't playing churches or anything like that. It was specifically so anyone and everyone could go. And we played a concert in the capital of Kiev.
Mm-hmm.
And it was I don't know how many thousands of people were there because it was just out in the open. It was so crazy. Now I'm gonna get into some Christianese here, so bear with me.
Go for it.
But they didn't have freedom of religion until the early 90s. So when you go over there, there's a part where our lead singer would preach the gospel, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time they've heard it, a lot of them, in public. And it's hard to wrap our mind around because we're just like, oh, we have Chick-fil-A's Christian food.
Yeah.
You know, we have all of that. They didn't. And so watching that happen in real life was like crazy because you don't get that in America, you know. And I still keep in contact with a lot of they're adults now. A lot of the kids from back then, message me. A lot of them are like, hey, can you pray for me? My house got blown up.
Oh,
literally, like
imagine,
messages like that. And one of them talked to me. He's like, I'm trying to get to America. Can you help? I'm like, I don't know. I'll see. I would love to. How do I?
And then you're thinking about it all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
How do you even do that?
Yeah.
Right?
How do you do that? What did it look like? What what did it look like when you guys when you traveled around that area? What was the environment like?
Honestly, it was
the weather and all that stuff.
It was. I'm just a spoiled American. Okay, so they don't do ice. Like if you go to a restaurant, they give you your Coke with no ice.
Yeah.
You have to ask specifically for ice, and they give you like a cube. And so I'm like, they had been there before, the year before I joined the band. And so I'm like, is this, what's going on? Like, oh yeah, you got to ask for ice. They don't do that here. Everything's warm. And it was really hot. So on top of that, but honestly, like all the people were so kind. I really loved it. It was great. I think we did, I don't know how many shows we did, 20, 25 shows or something like that. The people were so sweet. And then we ended up going and doing we played Austria and Hungary. And all this time, about halfway through the tour, I had like thrown something out in my back from just rocking / the bus that we were on. The roads aren't done. You know, when you're traveling through Ukraine, you're just driving on like dirt and potholes. So I was in bad shape. I have a story if you want to hear it, but
tell it. Go for it.
All right. So my back is killing me, and we're traveling. One of our guides is a dentist, and he's like, I think I may be able to help you. I have a friend. I was like, what? Okay, let's do it. Is he a chiropractor? He's like, no, he's a doctor. Oh, perfect. We're going to go to his house. It's a Sunday. I had a show that night. We're going to go to his house. I'm like, okay, cool. And someone's going to come pick you up. Okay, it's not you. He's like, no, I can't go. Okay. So sure enough, this little car pulls up, asks for me. I get in I don't know this person. I get in the car. He drives like a maniac all the way to this house. It's a nice house. Yeah. And we walk up and knocks on the door, and this guy answers, and he's like, hey. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm Nate. He's like, come in. go in, and he points to his wall, and there's this like postcard-sized like diploma thing. He's like, see?
Mail order
See?
diploma.
Doctor. I'm like, oh God. What's gonna? And so I'm in pain. So I'm like, cool, dude. You're a doctor. You're more a doctor than I am. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes me to a back room, and it's just me and him, and he closes the door. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna end up on the news. And he goes like that. You can't see, but he puts he like motions like for me to take my pants off, like take your pants down. I was like, oh no, sorry sir, it's my back, so it's up here. Nothing going on down there. We're good. It's
Lights start flickering.
Yeah, for real. And he's like, insists, no, pants. I'm like, oh, bro. So take my pants off. And then he's like, okay, no, lay on the couch. I'm like, dude, where's the camera? So sure enough, I lay on the couch. He gives me a shot in my butt. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. And I get up, and I feel really good later that night.
Oh.
So I play the show. I'm like, this is the best show ever, dude. And I felt good for most of the rest of the trip. I got home, saw a chiropractor. Like, yeah, your rib is actually out of place.
Oh my God! So it just kept you numb.
Yeah, it hurt when I would breathe and stuff. And so I had to finish the rest of the tour. It was like 2 weeks like that. So that was kind of a fun story. But all that to say, Ukraine was such a cool experience. The people there are sweet, and it sucks what's going on.
Yeah.
But at that time, it was there was unrest the year before, and that time was like calmed down. But we still had snipers on the roof of buildings that we would play. We had we got called in a bomb threat to one of our shows. We still played. We had someone come to the hotel to arrest us after the show. Yeah. So the person on the hotel person's like, just calls and is like, just stay in your room. I have no obligation to tell them anything. And they just said, I don't know where they are. Can't tell you that.
Now you're keeping like, what is your wife? You're telling your wife?
I don't tell her.
You don't tell her. Oh, man. So when you get back and you tell her, what? How does she react?
She was kind of glad that I didn't tell her, because what are you gonna do?
I know.
You know?
Just thank God you're home safe.
Well,
that's all you can do, right?
The flight home, they're like, okay, so we need to just do this fast, because they could be here waiting for us. They can't do anything to you. All they can do is inconvenience you. So they can jail you for breaking whatever religious rule that they decide to make up, and they can jail you and just kind of make you suffer for a little bit, but they can't do anything else.
Yeah.
So we remember sending the lead singer first, because like if someone's got to get out, it's going to be him, and we're all watching to see what happens, and it takes a really long time for him to get through. Like, oh, dude, and then he gets through, and we're good. I go home. But yeah, it was small bit of fear compared to what.
Oh no, thanks for sharing that. I mean, that's interesting, because I think a lot of people, you have dreams. Oh, I can't wait to go tour, but you never know where these tours are going to take you. If once you commit to it, you just have to like put your faith in whoever is going to like, we're going to go do this. Okay, let's go. Let's pack up our gear. We're going to go rock and roll. And then you end up in a country that's about to be demolished, and your life is at risk. Once you leave the country, it's like, hey, remember, once you leave the U.S., who knows? I mean, any place in the world, you never know what's going to happen to you. But like, I mean, when you leave the country and you're in a place like that, how does it feel? Like, I'm not in America. There's like a feeling that kind of overcomes you?
A little bit. You just learn to trust, whoever your guide is and your people are there. I don't like flying because the lack of control. I just don't like that. And especially being in a foreign country, it's just magnified. Because you think, oh, you're the band, right? So you're like calling the shots. No, I'm not. They're telling me where to go, when to be there. And ushering us around, like, you're in someone else's hands. And so it doesn't really sink in until you get home, and you can do the things that you want to do. Wake up and get coffee when you want and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's you want to go out there and rock and do that for a job, I highly suggest it, but also know it's a lot of work.
No, definitely. You know what? Let's take before we start talking about the show coming up on May 28th with Brian Head Welch from Korn and everything that's going on. It's a benefit for Magdalene Hope, an evening of rock and conversation. I want to take a music break because we got to play some music. Now, the first song that I played on the show, it was a great song, one of a previous single. I don't know if it's your latest single, Bad Excuse.
Yeah, that was a previous single.
Yeah, previous single. You got it to me right away. I got to play it on the show, and then I ran into you when you opened up for Marky Ramone at Tembo, and that was a great show. I didn't get to catch your set, but I was like, this guy's great. I already know it's going to be great, and so that's why I'm so glad you were able to make it into the studio. But let's play some Bad Excuse, which is available on all streaming platforms, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is Bad Excuse by Nate Parrish.
I don't need another bad excuse. I don't need another speech from you. Apology for my apology. I just read the script that was given to me. I'm just a talking cat. I'm just a walking dead. Feeding you the lies that I've been fed. And all I know is all I'm told. And all I know is all I'm told. I don't need another bad excuse. I don't need another speech from you. You've been a fine man and you're lying it too. The only thing I ever need from you. Step down. Step down. Pardon me, it's part of my occupation to do what I told my corporation. Manipulate the information. Legislation, laws, your silver-tongued but your words are not worth a dime. You can save your breath instead. I don't need another bad excuse. I don't need another speech from you. You've been a fine man and you're lying it too. The only thing I ever need from you. Step down. Step down. Step down. Step down. You're a king with a paper crown. Step down. Step down. A bureaucrat getting fat. Step down. Step down. You're just a puppet on a drawing tree. Step down. Step down. Think you're a wolf, but you're just a sheep. Step down. I don't need another bad excuse. I don't need another speech from you. You've been a fine man and you're lying it too. The only thing I ever need from you. Step down. The only thing I ever need from you. Step down.
I told you you'd love it. That's Bad Excuse by Nate Parrish. You can find him on Spotify, Apple, all that thing. So when you look up Nate, N-A-T-E, and Parrish, 2 R's, I-S-H. All right, we're going to play some more music in a little bit, but let's talk about this show, kind of fast forward to the present. May 28th, Magdalene Hope, celebrating 15 years, a needing of rockin' conversation featuring Brian Head Welch of Korn, the band Spoken, and also Nate Parrish. Now, let's talk about it. What's going on?
Yeah. So kind of a funny, I don't even know how I got here, but a few months ago, I felt like I was like, man, I love playing punk shows and doing all the things, but I also want to make myself available for causes. I want to do something. I want to be a partner up with stuff that matters. If I have any sort of talent or gift I can use, I want to do it. So I messaged Doug Bennett, who founded Magdalene Hope. I said, hey man, I don't even know if you do music events. I just know I believe in what you're doing, and I'm a musician. If you ever need music or whatever, I'm down to do it free, no problem. Like, I want to just help,
Yeah.
That's how I can help.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, are you serious? Yeah. So maybe a month later, he's like, hey, I'm doing this event at the Fox. Can you play? I'm like, yeah, of course, we'll play. He's like, who else should we get? It's like, okay. So we go down the list, and I'm like trying to contact a few of the bands I know and see if they could do it. And then he's friends with Brian. They went to school together.
Yep.
And crazy story. You should hear him tell it. It's really cool. But he's like, I'm gonna ask Brian. I'm like, yeah, do it. Ask Brian. And then Brian says yes, he'll be a part of it. So now it's real, and it's happening fast. And so we whip together all the marketing, do all the things, and we're essentially just partnering up.
Now, it says an evening rock and conversation now is Brian Welch, is he going to perform with his band, or is it by himself? Or
Brian is, so we're doing it's kind of different. We're doing sort of like a Q&A kind of thing. So we're going to have a opportunity to submit questions for Brian. So you got to follow our Instagrams, because we'll do most of the stuff on there. So the Nate Parrish and Magdalene Hope on Instagram.
I'll be sharing those in the podcast info box and all the socials.
Yeah, we'll do giveaways and all that kind of stuff. So he'll answer questions. I believe I'm still interviewing him, which will be really fun. And he may do a little something.
Yeah.
But Spoken is 100% playing. Spoken is actually on Brian's label, and Brian is featured on their songs, and they're really, you should check them out, dude. They're a great band. And then I'm doing music. But yeah, it's mostly... I think it's like a time to ask Brian questions and share. I mean, he's lived 1,000 lives, you know, and I don't know that I've ever been in a like a concert setting where I've had that, where he answers your question, or you know what I'm saying. So it's pretty cool.
He's a homeboy, man, you know, and I'm sure. I mean, there's a lot of things that people don't know. You just assume, well, they were in Corn, so they've, you know, a lot of them, they moved away, but a lot of them kind of live quietly in Kern County. You might run into him. I've run into Brian many times when I've taken my wife over to Meadows Field. She's going to hop on a plane. He's getting back, and he's just sitting there waiting for a ride, just leaning up against the post. Nobody's bothering him. I'm like, you can see it's Brian Welch. You see the dreads, everything like that. And I'm like, hey, it's Brian Welch. You know, you just get used to see Phildy and John walking around the time. And, you know.
I shared a plane with John one time. He was coming home. I met him, and I was talking. I was like, where are you coming from? I just played a NASCAR event. You ever played one of those? No. I was like, was it weird? He's like, it was weird. I'm like, where do you? And he's like, where did you come from? I played a basketball game in Tennessee for the Grizzlies. He's like, oh yeah, I think we did that before too.
Yeah.
So it was cool. He's super normal and cool.
Yeah, they're all cool.
But yeah, so that's the gist of the evening. Is that's why it's rock and conversation. It's kind of all the things. And
is this the first time you guys are going to be sharing the stage together?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We have a lot of mutual friends.
I bet.
And I've never, ever met him. And finally, we did a conference call, and I got to talk to him and stuff. And he's like, you still in that one band, Kutless? I was like, yeah. And so, yeah, he's super rad. I look forward to hanging out with him. But, yeah, so it's a night to celebrate 15 years for Magdalene Hope, but also raise money. It's it's a nonprofit.
Yeah. If you want to know what Magdalene Hope is, just look it up on Google. That was the best way. Google what Magdalene Hope is. Like I said, it's a local nonprofit that helps those escape human trafficking. And I know Doug Bennett does a lot of stuff. If you're from Bakersfield, you probably have seen him on the news, or they're doing a story, because the topic of human trafficking is so hot. I mean, it's something that everybody needs to be talking about, because it's like a disease out there in the community, and people need help, you know. So if you know anybody who's struggling with that, you maybe have a family member, you have a friend who needs some help, reach out to Magdalene Hope. Doug Bennett will get the resources. Go out there, and I think it's a little ministry mixed in with of course. So you get a little bit of everything. You should get your tickets to Magdalene Hope Presents an Evening of Rock and Conversation. Go to thebakersfieldfox.com. $35 in advance, $40 day of show. Doors open at 6. Show at 7. I'm going to be posting up the flyer. I will also, if in the podcast information box, I'll put a link on there, and there's no excuse. You should go out there. Go say hi to Brian. I bet you he's going to hang out afterwards. You can get, Nate, you got any product to sell? Any merch?
Do.
You got all that
dude,
stuff.
I brought you stickers. I'm going to give you some
stickers. Let me have some stickers, man. You got to see Nate's artwork. He does really great work. So where could people find out about you?
Oh, geez. NateParrish.com.
NateParrish.com got everything. So you can find out about his Kutless music. What are the albums that you're on?
So I haven't recorded anything.
Oh, so you've just been with the band.
I show up and play guitar. I do, like, on our live concerts. I have the freedom to do my own thing as far as like I don't just stick to the album for the most part. But yeah, they're pretty much self-contained. Those guys have been doing that for 22 years. So I'm happy just to show up and rock.
Yeah, but you got your own thing going too. You can step out of that and be Nate Parrish, the Nate Parrish Band, which it's really funny because like the first time I'd ever seen you, I was like, I don't know who this guy is. But he's showing, I mean, he looks like a rock dude. If you didn't know anything about him, you're like, well, this guy has to be in a band. He's not a tattoo artist. I go, you could see maybe he's a tattoo artist because Bakersfield has a ton of tattoo places, and he's got tattoos. And I was like, this guy's got to be a rock dude. And I saw him, and then I was trying to like piece together because I'm always curious as to who's connected to who. And it seems like Nate and I really didn't know each other, even as long as I've been playing in the scene. I was like, so I knew we were going to end up having this conversation. I love this story. It's great. And I'm so glad you guys ended up in Bakersfield. You didn't judge Bakersfield too much to say.
I am.
No.
I'm happy. I would say, you can't judge a book by its cover. Sometimes you can, like comic books, Yeah, that's a good judge of it. But
isn't it much lighter to live here in Bakersfield than Stockton? Is it much lighter?
Yeah, dude, honestly, no joke. No joke, the people here are so nice. Bakersfield, you could, people say hi to each other, which is cool. It's not like that in the Bay Area. Napa, where I live, it's not like that. Stockton's not really like that.
When I interviewed Chris Isaac and I asked him about, well, you have this hit. Yeah. What's it? Heart-shaped world. Heart-shaped.
No.
I
just know that
what am I saying?
part.
I don't want to screw it up. The Chris Isaac hit. I said, okay, so you got this hit, and he goes, yeah. He goes, I go, so what's going on, man? He goes, well, I'm just living in my apartment, man. He goes, when there's this magazine from France comes over to interview me, and they walk into my apartment, and they just see, like, I just got a bunch of music notes and everything all over the walls, and they're just like, this is where you live? He's like, Stockton, baby.
Dude, hey, I admire that. That's super cool.
Yeah. Oh, man. Let's play some more Nate Parrish music. Nate, why don't you introduce the song and let's play it.
All right, this song is called I'm All Right. It's my newest single, and hope you check it out and love it.
Still believe what I want. lose your face. You left the hole when you went away. But I'm alive and I'm doing alright. I still believe what I wanna believe. I got a one-way ticket in my heart on my sleeve. I'm alright. Still believe what I wanna believe. I got a one-way ticket in my heart on my sleeve. It's not the way that I want it to be, but I still got everything I could ever need. Still believe what I wanna believe. I got a one-way ticket in my heart on my sleeve.
All right, that was I'm All Right by Nate Parrish, and that is available on all the platforms. Is that your latest single? When did that drop?
Oh, 2 weeks and 3 days.
2 weeks. Dang.
Yeah, it's a new one. Yeah. I like to release a few singles before an album and all that stuff. So this is the second one.
So you have an album on the way.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many songs are you going to have on the album?
I'm sticking to a tight 10.
Mm-hmm.
I decided that early on. I really like the number 10. It's nice, round,
Yeah.
it feels complete, and
Tight pop punk
Yeah.
ish style. What's the length? Like, so you go 10 songs, you're like, I don't know if I can stick with an album for 10. It's like, it's only 15 minutes long.
I know. Good news is it's 20 minutes long.
Which is great.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you want. That's the way you want your punk. You
Well,
rock,
kinda,
you know.
like yeah, like a lot of the, well, back when the stuff that we listened to,
Mm-hmm.
you had a little bit more, you could get away with more songs because people
Yeah.
pay attention more. But I feel like I always want to do slightly less so people are not, they won't leave them wanting more. Like even when we do our shows, like I go in and hammer it. We'll do like 6 songs and then call it a day. And
Yeah.
just because I want to go in.
Meet me at the merch.
Yeah,
Meet me at the merch.
Come
You
say
want
what's
some
up.
more?
Yeah.
Keep in touch with us. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Okay, so those, like you heard earlier, you heard Bad Excuse, which was kind of like my introduction to Nate, but he's already been doing a lot of stuff. I know that he did one of these series that both our bands did during the pandemic. Then they had the live stream vaccine over at the Fox. So that was the first time I got to actually see Nate on stage with his guitar. I said, well, eventually we're going to cross paths. And little by little, I followed who he's been connected to. This is great. I love this story. And you should go out there and support this Magdalene Hope celebrating 15 years Evening of Rock and Conversation, May 28th at the historic Bakersfield Fox Theater. It's all ages. Brian Head, Welch of Korn. Maybe this will inspire the rest of Korn to actually come back and play a show.
Oh,
Because they haven't played here in so
How long has it been, you think?
It hasn't been since it's been since the album Remember Who You Are, where they did the Oildale song, where they filmed the music video out there at the oil pumps.
So it's been a
that
while.
was the last time. But oh man, I mean, I think they're overdue. But you know what?
Yeah.
Like you're talking about those metal festivals, Korn can go and play to like 500,000 people on any given night in Europe. They're like, or Kansas. There's always some like big festival in Kansas.
Yeah, they got space out there. Here's my open invitation.
Hey! What are you trying to do? You ruined my record, man. I just bought it.
Technology is not perfect, and neither am I. And I accidentally clipped the final seconds of my interview with Nate Parrish, where he sends an open invitation to Korn to come back and play in Bakersfield. And we also say adios and thank you to everybody for listening. Well, I want to say thank you to Mr. Nate Parrish. Go to the podcast episode info box to get directed to his website and music and support this wonderful talent. Here's one more tune by Nate Parrish. This is God Knows. Thanks for listening.
Remove the rhyme from melody. Rewrite the lines that you don't wanna sing. You make the mystery to keep this all inside. And God knows it's time to take the cross and cross the line. You're adding pages to a finished book. Keep building gates around our neighborhood. You're turning faith into a pyramid scheme. You stay under one grace on one and keep the king. God knows I tried to keep this all inside. And God knows it's time to take the cross and cross the line. I was afraid this was all my fault. My sins outweighed the grace of God. You didn't give me what I want. Like a preacher on TV with the gold rings on. Sometimes we buy a lie on the way to the truth. Sometimes the reason is why you're never giving me in. When your belief doesn't match your circumstance. When the night feels like it will never end. When human hands are corrupting holy things. Can everything act full still be? Triggers the pain. Why I'm just a pain. Hear the war. Why I'm just a flame. Here's the ocean. Why I'm just a wave. Why I'm just a wave. God knows I tried to keep this all inside. And God knows it's time to take the cross and cross the line. God knows I tried to keep this all inside.
The Baco Tunes podcast with Matt Munoz. New episodes every week. And for the latest, be sure to follow us at Baco Tunes on Instagram. That's BAKOTUNES. And be sure to like us, rate us, comment at us, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll be back next time.